Cash is king. If you really want something, you save for it and buy it with cash. People with money don't need credit because they buy everything in cash. See, these are just some of the things that were programmed into my head and that I heard while I was growing up. And since I wasn't taught about credit in school, I did what most people do. I learned from my mistakes. And I made just about every mistake imaginable. And after I started making really good money, even though I paid everything off, the damage had already been done. You see, I started to realize that great credit doesn't just build itself. Not only do you have to be intentional about it, you also have to have access to the right information. There's a saying that information changes situations. And because I lacked the information, I didn't know the rules to the game. And when you don't know the rules, you get fouled. And when you get too many fouls, you get fouled out and you throw stuff. See, that was me. I was frustrated, mad about where my situation was because as I got older and started making really good money for my businesses, I found out that credit was an extremely important part of life. What I didn't learn all of these years is that without knowing how to build a good credit score, that would keep me from being able to get personal or business loans or get a loan for a house or a car, being constantly denied. So the fact that I didn't know the rules to credit turned out to be a costly mistake. As I started to make more and more money, I started to realize how many successful people use credit to pay for things. They use credit to buy things they needed and they simply paid them off at the end of the month and got rewards for spending money they were going to spend anyway. It was also a secure way to travel and protect themselves from purchases that they made. They also believed that cash was king, but they applied it differently. They believed in leveraging something called OPM, other people's money, like the bank does, to buy cars and homes. I couldn't believe it. And here was the turning point for me. I was trying to rent a car, and although I had more than enough money to pay for the car, the gentleman said, if you're paying with your debit card, your bank card, we will need to run a credit check and see if you're approved to rent the car. And I was nervous. Here I was making good money and still had poor credit. I felt like I was never in control. I couldn't even rent a car without a credit check. I had absolutely no power and I was at the mercy of everyone else, and it usually ended up costing me more money and higher deposits for things like utilities, down payments, cars, and so much more. It was becoming a nightmare. That's when I knew I had to take this credit thing very serious. So fast forward to today. Now my credit score is in the high 700s. What changed? I hired a credit education specialist. Not only someone that can analyze my credit reports and identify potential errors that could potentially affect my credit negatively and correct those items, which eventually and quickly can help your credit score go up, but they also gave me the education needed so that I never found myself in that situation again. I used to think that if I just paid my minimum payment on my credit cards every single month on time, that my score would automatically go up, even if I was maxing out my cards. Boy, was I wrong. And when I found out that this mentality was actually hurting my score, I wanted to know what else I didn't know about credit. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here's some proof that you can improve your credit score really fast from some real people getting real results.
One of the best decisions that I have made, and I'm so happy to be a part of this movement.
I mean, it's incredible what it's done for my credit situation. It's been able to eliminate negatives off my credit report, collection accounts, tax liens. I mean, a tax lien in less than 8 to 9 months, that's unheard of.
A huge piece for us as a family was the credit education. You see, when she married me, I actually dropped her credit score, right? Now we competing. Whose credit score is going to be better?
My score's gone up over 110 points, and I'm getting ready to buy my house.
I feel like our generations are going backwards for 2 reasons: the mentalities and a lack of true financial education.
As far as credit goes, I've already gotten 17 things removed, deleted. See, look, the proof is in the pudding.
Recently got married, we went to go purchase a home. Guess what? Denied because of the negative items in my credit. After going through the credit education, and my score went up over 174 points, and we were finally able to get the home of our dreams, and now we're having a home built.
Like, I was one of those individuals that whenever credit came up in a conversation, I was the one that dipped out of the room. I've even tried fixing it myself. I've worked with some companies where, I had to be pretty much hands-on, sending letters off myself, and I saw hardly any results whatsoever. My credit score was like a 485. So when I got involved with this company, first 7 months, it went from a 485, now over a 640.
Like, can you say powerful? I mean, life-changing stuff.
Feel like I'm winning.
Chances are, if you made it this far, you're interested in improving your credit and also getting the education to never have to worry about credit again. So if that's you, stick with me, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do that and more. One of the first things I learned about was loans. You see, many successful people own businesses. And since many of them don't launch their businesses debt-free, a lot of them need credit to get their businesses off the ground or to cover revenue drops if you ever have a few slow months of business. And do you know how they determine if you can be approved for these loans and the interest rates that you'll pay? You guessed it right, your personal credit score. Well, it's not just for business loans. The same thing goes for cars, houses, apartments, or anything that you need to finance. The worse your score is, the more you pay, even if you are approved. I hated going to places and feeling at the mercy of the salesperson or the company because of my credit. Well, here's the next thing I learned. It was about jobs. You see, unless you win the lottery or you get a big inheritance from your family, odds are that you will have to work for your money. Whether it's a job or business, and if you don't have a business for yourself like I do, and you decide one day to change careers to something that you're more passionate about, you would be concerned about credit. Because in many cases, prospective employers were running credit checks on their potential candidates. And finally, guess what else I found out? Just like interest rates, insurance premiums are affected by your credit score. Did you know that you can be declined for insurance based on your credit score? That's because some insurers think that if you're irresponsible with your finances, like you don't pay your bills on time and your credit score is low, that you're also more likely to be irresponsible behind the wheel. Poor credit equals higher rates. So even if you have a good job, a nice car, a nice house, poor credit will mean that you end up paying more money than someone with good credit. Did you know that poor credit can cost you over $200,000 in interest over your lifetime? That's a lot of money. What else could you do with an extra $200,000 in your lifetime? And let's face it, no one wants to be like my friend Andrew. He was the complete opposite of me. You see, he had a great job. He went on vacation twice a year. He used credit sparingly. Things were starting to look up for him, and then something that he could have never predicted happened. The collapse of the economy in 2008. Instantly, he was laid off from his job. And because, like me, he didn't have the education about credit, he didn't have access to the type of credit that he needed. And guess what? His life changed in an instant. That situation right there showed me that no matter how much money you make or how great of a job you have, I wanted to have good credit to access money if I was to somehow suddenly lose it all. So how do you do it? Introducing you to Novae Money. Novae, through a third-party company called Priority Financial Solutions, can help you get the great credit you deserve. They offer something called free document services to help customers get negative, erroneous, or inaccurate items removed off their credit score, which will eventually lead to a higher credit score. Letter after letter, you can see members getting negative items removed from their credit. And the nice part about it is that they do all of the legwork for you. They focus on a system called ACE, Analysis, Correction, and Education. You see, they have professionals that analyze your credit score. They figure out what items need to be corrected, and they also provide you the education necessary about credit to make sure that you're never in that situation again. They have an accredited A rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've also successfully removed every form of negative credit, including tax liens and bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and repossessions. Served over 20,000 clients, almost 100,000 derogatory items have been removed from clients' reports. We give you access to real-time credit monitoring, a debt elimination and budgeting tool to help you to budget your money better and get out of debt faster. So let me ask you a question. What is great credit worth to you? Here's probably a better question. How much is poor credit costing you? Make a decision today that you're going to take your financial power back and get on track to building long-term wealth. To get started immediately on our Novae Money program today. Or if you have any questions about our program, get back with the person that shared this video with you so we can get you on track to taking control of your finances and your credit. As a special bonus, we also have an exclusive referral opportunity that is very lucrative for those of you that are interested in making a lot of money from home.